Hey y'all, it's Two Brains, Three Eyes, and I'm back with another video. We're going to be getting into why we prioritize the wrong thing as Black people. And I would say that this would be considered a generational curse, something that's passed down from our ancestors, or I'm not even going to say ancestors, but something that's been passed down from our parents, grandparents, since I would probably say the 90s. And I want to say we worry about the wrong things because we have our kids focusing on, wanting to be athletes, wanting to be rappers instead of productive citizens in society. And when I say that, why is it that kids say, oh, I want to be a scientist, or I want to be a welder, or I want to be a business owner, or something up that lane? It's always something that's being pushed on our kids. And I think it starts at home, which is degeneracy. And this video that we're going to get into, I'm going to show you the two differences between prioritizing nonsense and teaching your kids life skills, things that actually matter. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video for y'all, and then we're going to get into the details. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me get that pulled up. All right.
There was no other class like this, so I decided to come up with it.
9-year-old Aiden.
Remember, stand up straight.
As a graduate from one of Michael Pigram's gun safety classes near Mint Hill.
Hold your hand as up as high as possible.
Tailored to kids like him.
It's the parents' choice of what their kids should be around. I'm just offering a class to let them learn to be safe if they're going to be around them.
The children spend 4 hours both in classroom time and shooting, working from a Nerf gun
To get them used to it.
to a 22 or 9mm. Some students are as young as 6, he says.
So after watching that, there's a saying, even in the Bible, oppression maketh the wise man mad. And when I see that, I ask myself, why are we so far behind? While we're teaching our kids and partaking in TikTok trends that at the end of the day mean nothing, we have other groups of people who are training their kids to go, training them with weapons, training them how to hunt, training them how to own a business, teaching them skills to, properly navigate life. And here we are teaching our kids nothing but shenanigans. And I guess I wouldn't be so upset if I didn't do some. I read an article maybe about a week ago about how in the Black community, 80% of our children, I have to go back to it, but I want to say it said anywhere from 70 to 80% of our children are not reading at a proficient level. Also meaning that they are not able to comprehend what they just read. And also too, some of our kids cannot read. And one will say, that's the school's job. One will say, that's all on education or whatnot. But at the same time, too, you are supposed to be teaching your kids as well. I don't believe, the schools, the teachers should be babysitters for every little thing that your children lacks. You should also be reinforcing, what the teacher is teaching at school, at home. But to get back to what I was saying earlier, it honestly makes me upset. I'm not saying that kids can't have fun, but at the same time, when you're reading articles, when you're looking at the stats, when you're looking at the reality of it all, we're teaching our kids to, constantly chase dopamine. We're constantly chasing that feel-good hormone instead of doing things that we need to do, even though we don't feel like doing it. And I believe that's what the culture has been based off of. What do I feel like doing right now? Or even how we eat, what tastes good right now instead of what's actually good for my body. And at this point, you know, we're setting up our children, the future generation, for failure. This is something to keep us distracted. This is something that, you know, keeps us dumb. This is something that continues to keep us unaware of what's actually going on in the world, because you know, as Black people, we have bigger problems to worry about right now. We have overall a health crisis in the community where we do not want to eat healthy. We don't care to eat healthy. We push big back culture. We say it all the time when we make these little, you know, videos and post them on Instagram, TikTok, you know, YouTube, whatever. We have an education crisis. We have a parenting crisis. Kids aren't getting the attention that they need, so I guess maybe they look for it in other ways, such as on social media. Our kids lack proper guidance, which in the end is going to make it harder for our children in the future to, you know, get jobs if they don't have the discipline or the skills that they need. And Spin That isn't even a good song. Spin That is what I call troll music. You know, music not necessarily good. It just reinforces stereotypes on Black people. But somehow it's just going viral, and, you know, they made up a little dance for it and whatnot. However, like I said, I'm not saying that, you know, kids can't have fun, but it really makes me upset when our kids lack reading skills. Our kids lack comprehension skills. Our kids lack all other things as well compared to other kids, but yet we can do stuff like this. And I looked at the comment section as well. You had the parents saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat their ass when they get home. Oh yeah, that's my child right there. And it seems like the parents aren't really aware of the seriousness of, you know, the Black community as a whole with promoting nonsense. And they low-key think it's funny. They low-key think, oh, you know, we shouldn't be taking fun away from kids. You know, the parents are basically still kids themselves. So, you know, how can you really be upset at the kids at the same time? I just want to know, how do we fix it? You know, the kids aren't properly getting, you know, the discipline, the attention that they need at home. You know, the parents aren't going to enforce it. They're going to keep enforcing, you know, if you're bored, get on your tablet, not go outside and be active. You know, kids are constantly on their phones or whatnot. So I don't really know how you fix this problem. I just know that this is the start of a bigger problem, if that makes sense. So if you have any thoughts or opinions on that video, definitely drop a comment below, and I'll see you on the next video.